Well, the FBI is warning parents about what they're calling a significant increase in cases of sextortion.
KCRA3's Jason Marks is joining us now in the studio with this concerning trend and with what agents are telling us.
Well, the FBI says over the past year there have been 7,000 sextortion reports of minors, and it's happening more to boys between 14 and 17. But agents say any child with a phone can become a victim. 5 years ago, Allison Boos became an FBI agent. She now spends her days looking for people who are targeting kids online. How big of a problem is this?
It's huge. I mean, crimes against children in general, but then sextortion specifically has become a huge issue lately. We see tip after tip of it.
Sextortion is when a suspect dupes a victim, usually a teenage girl or boy, into sending a nude picture. The victim then blackmails the teens for more pictures or money. Bo says the suspects do their research.
If it's these guys that are out there trying to make money off this, they're going to go for kind of the low-hanging fruit, people with open profiles who they can figure out who all their friends are, who their contacts are. Maybe they friend a couple of their friends and then they friend them, so they're less suspicious.
Bo says there's no way to stop a teenager from being online, but it's good for parents to talk to their teens about the dangers. Parents should also notice if the teen begins asking or stealing money.
Most of the times when a kid is trapped in this, they're gonna be panicked about it. They're gonna be looking for access to money.
Many of the suspects are coming from overseas. They cast out dozens of lines a day, hoping for a teenager to take the bait.
When you're trying to get money out of people, kids might not necessarily seem to be the most beneficial target. But when we're talking about sextortion, we're talking about getting someone to produce, a picture of themselves that's embarrassing. And kids are a lot easier to embarrass than adults.
And these cases can become serious really quickly. Over the past 2 years, the FBI says 14 minors died by suicide as a result of financially motivated sextortion in the United States. So real serious.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, a lot of teens may not be watching, but for parents who are watching, what should they be telling their teens in case this does ever happen to them?
Well, if they start getting those text messages, go to law enforcement or have the conversation with the parent, between the parent and the child. I can give you a little bit of a story here, talking to an FBI agent who was undercover. Now, this was a person who deals with internet crimes against children. He goes after these suspects, and he has a teenage son who came to him and said, "Dad, I'm starting to, who I thought was a girl his age, turns out it wasn't, and she wanted pictures." Luckily enough, the FBI agent talked to his son enough that he knew what to do. But it just shows you it can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Not just, we're all vulnerable. We all are parents. We all, luckily for us,
we got babies.
We don't, babies.
Yeah.
We don't.
So I've got the teenagers
Correct.
and teenage boys, and I'll tell you that it really goes to, you've got to really work on that relationship with them and be non-judgmental, and they have to be able to feel safe, to be able to come to you and say, "This is happening, I don't know what to do." And that, you remember being teenagers.
Oh yeah.
Would you have gone to your parents with stuff? I know I didn't a lot of times, so really having to nurture that early.
And on KCRA.com right now, the story that we did last night at 11, we featured a Nevada woman who's a young girl who started talking to what she thought was just a friend. Turned out it was a man from Michigan who was a convicted sex offender, wanted pictures. She did the right thing. She went to her SRO at school. In turn, the FBI got involved and they tracked him down, and he was actually talking to 8 other girls.
Wow.
So, they cast a wide net. It's not just people coming from this country, it's coming from overseas. So.
Yeah. And whether it's parents or anyone, the teen has to feel comfortable talking to someone.
Find a safe adult
Yep.
to be able to talk to. Great advice.
Right.
Thank you very much.